Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared, and I'm back. It sounds right, boy. I love that. And I love that part in that song. It sounds right, boy. So, hey, listen, this is Jared A. Brown. I'm the host of the Warriors Quest show. Man, I am so excited to do this interview tonight. It is going to be fantastic. All right. So if you're new to the show, please subscribe. All right. What I do is I help chronic disease patients, chronic disease warriors who want to get their story told and get their story out to the masses. And when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook page, it helps me do this and reach more people. And ultimately, reaching more people means I'm helping more people. So please don't be stingy. Please smash that share button, all right? Let's like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this going. All right. So, man, Jim Myers just shared. Thanks, Jim. And we've got Steve Belcher watching from YouTube. What up, Steve? And Tom, thank you for watching, Tom. All right. So we've got again a terrific show. All right. I'm going to be bringing on a warrior tonight, a guy who battles every single day. All right. And I'm going to be showing you a little bit about what this warrior is all about. Here we go. So our special guest is going to be Lou Obadal. Hopefully I say that right, Lou. And Lou is a lupus warrior. All right. He's dealt with many different things that come along with lupus, kidney failure, all sorts of different things. All right. In 2014, all right, his Lupus Revolution began. Lewis started having unexplainable seizures through 17 doctors, countless seizures, kidney failures, and so on and so forth. It was still hard for him to get diagnosed. And this is the problem, all right, with lupus and men who have lupus, is that it's very difficult for them to get diagnosed. Now, I've interviewed lupus warriors that are also females, and getting diagnosed for them is very difficult. And sometimes takes years before a doctor can fully diagnose somebody with lupus. So this is why awareness is so important, so that we can make sure that symptoms, all right, or signs are seen well in advance, so that these lupus warriors don't go through years of pain and suffering, all right, and ailments that go along with lupus, because lupus has a way of making your body attack itself. It makes the organs and tissue break down and all sorts of different things. So please don't be shy. All right. Don't be stingy. Smash that share button. All right. Let's get this story out there. Before we do, I'm bringing on a terrific co-host who also has lupus. She's currently looking for a living kidney donor. She's the Green Princess Warrior. All right. The Green Warrior Princess. No other than Tamika Griffin. She's been on the Warriors Quest show before. All right. And the Green Warrior Princess is back. All right. I'm bringing her on. We're going to give her a very special co-host welcome. All right. Put it in the chat section in the comments. Here we go. I feel like a DJ right now. What's going on?
Hello. How are
Hi.
you, Jared?
I'm great, Tamika. I'm great. I'm very blessed. So I thought when I had this Lupus Warrior contact me, and after we had gotten connected, and scheduled this, many people came to mind, but your name popped in, and sometimes inspiration works that way, of course, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I was happy that you had some availability because you yourself have struggled with lupus,
Yes.
and you know how difficult this battle is. And so
True.
we're going to be bringing on again Lou Obadal, and offline before we went live, he told us a little bit about a story, and it's remarkable. I'm hoping that people will be just as inspired as I am. Yeah, absolutely.
I know they will be, for sure.
All right, Metal Wrench is watching. Tamika is a total sweetheart, so I'm not sure who. So
Thank you.
Metal Wrench, if you could give us your name so we can connect you with Tamika or connect you with the Warriors Quest show, so we know who
Thank
you might
Metal
be.
Wrench.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa Baxter, for watching. The lovely Lisa Baxter from the Lisa Baxter Show. Thank you.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. She's a total sweetheart, too.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to bring him on. I've given him a little bit of an intro all on my own because I've just shared with what I've read from his website. He and his wife have formed an entity called I'm going to bring it up right here so I say it right. Men Have Lupus, and they've got a great vision, and I'm excited for him to tell it and get his story out there. So. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. So I'm the other half of Lupus. Okay, all right. So that must be Heather. Okay.
The missus.
All right. Yeah, the missus, right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring him on, all right? And I want us to flood, all right, the comment section. Give us some comments. Let's make sure this Lupus Warrior feels encouraged, supported. Yes. And let's flood the comment sections. All right. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, caring is sharing. Let's share. All right.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to give him a VIP intro.
Bring it on.
Here we go. VIP intro. All right. Because that's what we do. That's how we roll. We do VIP status to our special guest. All right. I'm going to move us a little bit here. Musical chairs.
Okay.
And here we go. VIP. It's the same one where I accidentally pressed before the 2-minute countdown. Okay. Here we go. Welcome, Lou.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Yourself?
Good, I'm doing well. We're going to play a little musical chairs here. I'm going to move you to the left here. Hold on. All right. Here we go. We're moving. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. Hopefully that didn't hurt. I tried to be gentle.
No, I was gentle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lou, man, thank you for connecting with me on Instagram. It's a pleasure to have you on the Warriors Quest show. Very impressed with what you and your wife are doing, and I'm excited to get your story out there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't know where you want me to start on what project we're doing right now, or
Yeah, let's start a little bit from the beginning. Um, you were mentioning offline that you used to live in Texas and now you live in Michigan. How at what age were you and how long when were you diagnosed with lupus?
I was diagnosed, was it 2013, 2014? 2014, I was diagnosed with lupus. I basically fell just out of the blue, getting ready to go to work with seizures out of the blue.
Wow.
Okay.
And on top of that, I was hit with sudden kidney failures and lost use of my legs, couldn't walk, having to use a walker, just countless things, one after another, arguing with the doctors on what it was. Everything from you're taking too much over-the-counter Tylenol, it's past drinking, and my wife would bring up,
Wow.
what if it's lupus, and she's read
Okay.
some other studies, and she'd always bring it up, what about lupus? And finally they pushed for the test for lupus, and they did the ANA panel, and they agreed it was borderline lupus, and I went in for my second kidney failure to the point of they were ready to put me on dialysis. It was that serious.
Wow.
Wow.
Brink of death, I'll put it that way.
Wow.
And before that, she had pushed for a biopsy. And thankfully, the results of the biopsy came out to where they could push for the right treatments to get me that I needed for the diagnosis of lupus. So I was lucky enough with my wife being on top of my case that I could, because if it wasn't for that kind of a situation,
right.
I'll be honest
Could have
with
been much
you,
worse.
I wouldn't be talking to you right now because they were wanting to point it at everything else but what was actually causing the kidney failures and the seizures.
That's impressive that she saw some early signs, early on.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And it was just happened to be, she caught an off article about somebody with the loss of their legs and the same symptoms I was dealing with, and asked for some tests and just stayed on the doctors.
Good.
And knock on wood.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Wow. Well, that is good. That I'm very impressed that she saw some early signs. And so, many times when I've interviewed people, when I've interviewed Tamika and other people that struggle with lupus, it takes years to get the diagnosis.
Yeah.
And how frustrating is that? And maybe, and after I get your answer, Lou, I'd like to hear from Tamika too. How frustrating is that?
Yeah. I mean, even I didn't deal with it as long as she has. And even with, I run a group that's just a lot of men too. But in my short time of once you kind of put the numbers together and the tests are coming back and it's pointing to it, just the frustration of why don't you finally admit what it is? Because you agree to it, but yet you don't want to give me the medication to address it. And what's that? Or when you get an evening, I've had the issue where I worked at a hospital and they went through a lot of doctors. They do their time and they go on. And the frustration, that part is, though, a new doctor will come in and go, I don't believe these test results at the same hospital, and go, I'm going to start you from square one and take you off all your meds.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I've talked to countless people out there too, and it's frustrating. So when you finally get a good doctor, you try to hold on, but you have life problems and life things go on. And when you lose doctors like that, and I think that's a lot of the struggles on when it comes to someone getting diagnosed early and quick versus the 6-year diagnosis out there. Is doctors that aren't really overworked or whatever it may be, or just not adherent to what lupus looks like.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating.
Wow.
It's such a simple problem you think that could be solved, but for whatever reason.
Yeah, you think they'd have a checklist of different things that happen.
And just to say, hey, what's the hard, and just coming in and going, why can't we just go down this road and take the test to do it and just say if it is or not? You know, it shouldn't be an
Right.
argument of, I want an NA panel.
Right.
Let's rule it out and be done with it. It shouldn't take 6 years to go, oh, let's finally look into lupus, you know? So that's
Terrible.
my biggest thing that frustrates me the most.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ramble a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well,
you know, I encourage that.
No.
Yeah. I just, a lot of frustration built up.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel you. For me, it was a little different. I I was diagnosed with lupus in my early 20s, but I believe that I had it since I was maybe a teenager, because once I was diagnosed, it explained things that happened when I was younger, like hair loss and rashes for no reason, fever, just not feeling good, always being told it was viral, as a teenager. And then when I was in my early 20s, I just kept feeling sick, and I kept going to a doctor who never drew a spot of blood to see what was wrong. He just kept telling me I had the flu, and he kept giving me things for the flu,
Oh,
and I knew it
my
wasn't the flu,
gosh.
but he didn't take not one blood test. And that went on for 3 or 4 months. And then I got diagnosed with lupus by being escorted to the hospital in an ambulance and almost dying. And they were, and that's when, like, HIV and AIDS was really big. So that's the first
Right.
thing they thought I had. So
Sure.
they tested me for everything. And so when they came in, they said, well, we got good news. You don't have AIDS, you have lupus. And I'm like, okay, so that's kind of how it started for me. And then I was in a hospital for 3 months.
3 months. Wow.
So all because
have
this doctor never ran a test. Not one
right.
test.
And that reminds me. Last week when I was interviewing Mackenzie, and Mackenzie was frustrated with her transplant hospital, and it's I read online, and I think it may have been Johns Hopkins, but the information stated that if a patient feels empowered, and to feel empowered, you're engaging with the doctors.
Right.
And in order to be engaged, the doctor has to, it's a two-way street. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to feel like they're hearing you in order for that engagement to happen. And when that doesn't happen, you start to get more discouragement and frustration.
Yep.
And they said that the patients that were more empowered and had engagement with their doctor, they not only felt happier at their circumstances, but they lived longer. Imagine that.
Yeah. And you get the diagnosis done. I mean, with my case, a lot too is you had doctors and you knew he was too busy with other things, and my wife wasn't afraid to go, okay, let's go to patient relations. Let's discuss this. These are the issues.
Right.
These are the issues I'm having with my doctors. What can we do to solve these issues to where we can go to point A and get this resolved?
Right.
And I think a lot of people get afraid of doing that. They're overstepping their bounds, or they're going to step on someone's toes. And I think when it comes to certain issues, people have to learn that they can go around those and still resolve the issues and not offend their doctors. And
Absolutely.
learn to create a communication gap one way or another, to where maybe they have to find a different doctor to find what works best. Because I like a doctor that's going to be straightforward and tell me, hey, you're going to be, SOL.
Straight with you.
And
Yeah.
versus somebody wants it going, I need it gentle, So there's a lot of variables, and it's a lot to work out.
Yeah, it is. It's very important. I mean, after that happened to me, I turned into a total different person. That's when I understood that I could only advocate for me. Because growing up as a kid, I only went to the doctor once a year for your annual visit. So me going to this person back and forth, I'm believing what he's saying because I've never been sick.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever he said, I did. That's how I grew up. You respect the policeman, the fireman, and the doctor, and they do no wrong, Well, in my case, absolutely, he was wrong,
Yeah.
he was wrong.
Right.
So,
And sometimes they are. They're not perfect.
Yep.
No,
You
no.
know, and
And
Yep.
I think sometimes in our society right now is that if you ever diss somebody, it's almost as though people get a sense of you're against that person if you disagree.
Right.
You know,
unfortunately, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
you know what I mean, and that's not the
Yep.
case. You may have a
No.
disagreement. That doesn't mean you're against that person.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
agree to disagree.
Yeah. People need to learn this time to step back, calm down, take their
Yep.
emotional feelings out of it, and look at the facts and the
Exactly.
issue and approach it. It's one thing I learned a long time ago after getting really sick and dealing with with a terminal condition, because I ran out of treatment options on my end. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of just changed perspective of life, on it. So I
Yeah.
just, there's no sense in getting wound up on it.
No.
It doesn't solve things at the end
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to quickly
David.
give a shout out to Philip. Philip from a Second Chance. He's commenting right here. He's a great guy. He himself has a great story, and he's writing right here. Great job, everyone. Louis, glad to see you being a self advocate and proactive in your health. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
So Lou, have you had bouts with lupus where you've had to stay in the hospital for an extended time, or has it been sporadic?
Mostly with my kidney issues, I go back and forth with mainly. My seizures early on, but a lot of it comes out of my kidneys. I suffer from organic brain issues, which doesn't really, there ain't much they can do. So and then I have blood pressure issues, which there's nothing there to be able to do at the hospital anyway. So
Right.
it's just when the kidneys get to a certain point, I can go in there for fluids or what have you, and release you and have a nice day. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So you're not on any dialysis or anything. Then they're just
No.
monitoring your kidneys. Good. Good.
Yeah. At this point, it came to a point in my lupus where they did the venom tests and everything, and got to the point to where the medication was just actually masking what it was actually doing. The test would show up, it wasn't there, but it was really just getting worse and worse and worse. So, but I've had good luck with the marijuana. It feels like it's slowing it down. It helps with, doing things around the house and that end of it, not having to be stuck on opioids and that end of it. So that was a lot of reason why we moved to Michigan. My rheumatologist said find a state there where recreational marijuana is available, and that was about my best options left. So
Right.
All right.
So
and it's working for you.
And if it's working for you,
it is.
And that's what's the most important thing. You've got to find what
works best for you.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know other lupus warriors and even kidney disease patients that have used cannabis for medicinal purposes, and not only helps them with the pain, but it also helps with anxiety, depression, and all sorts of other things. And so if it's helping you, man, hats off to you. I applaud you.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I'm not gonna say go out, it's gonna be a cure all, but yeah, for me it's
right.
Sure.
For
and you're experiencing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so Tamika, when he's talking about when Lou's talking about the how there's like the foggy brain, so to speak, or when you can't get the words out like you want, is that because the lupus is attacking, or is it just because of your body in general is in so much pain that your brain isn't working as well?
We call it lupus fog, and you don't necessarily have to be in pain. It's just something about the connection to the brain and trying to remember things, people's names, what you're gonna say. For me, Lou may feel different or have a different experience. I don't have to be in pain to have the fog. I can have the fog sitting there talking to my kids. So it's just kind of I just think with the longevity of the disease and how it affects your body overall, that's how it affects me, just kind of overall. But don't necessarily have to be in pain.
All right. Because I know that
Yeah.
with the kidney disease patients, they often get foggy, the fog,
Mm-hmm.
on the brain, or how we want to say it, because of
Yeah.
the toxin levels. But
There
for
is
lupus
actually
warriors, it's different.
yeah there is actually a form of neuropsychiatric lupus that does affect the brain,
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
essentially
All right.
Yes.
itself. So a
Yeah.
lot of it gets put underneath brain fog too, or
Mm-hmm.
misdiagnosed or even not even talked about. And that's what I suffer from. That causes my organic brain disease.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
So it's unfortunately not brought up enough out there, and can cause
Yeah.
a lot of brain and neuriac areas issues.
Yeah. And there are so many
You know,
other.
and I
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Jared.
I apologize. No, I apologize. There's a little bit of a delay, so go ahead.
No, I was going to say there are so many other different types of lupus out there. There's lupus discoid, lupus nephritis, lupus that deals with your brain. Um, Lupus is like a snowflake. No one snowflake is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Every person that I
Right.
meet that has lupus has a different experience. Like I've
Yeah.
never met someone who was like, "Hey, that's exactly, we got all 7 things." No. I got 10, you got 12. It's like
Right. Right.
It become overwhelming.
yes,
And then
yes.
that makes it so hard to actually pinpoint sometimes, and that's why I've always pressed the ANA panel.
Yeah.
And you really get borderline, I'd always press for a biopsy, because you can't argue with a biopsy a lot of times. It's just it
This
pins
is
it down,
true.
and
Very
it
true.
helps. I think a lot of times, and fast, especially with kidneys. And then
Yeah.
I'll bring up too with a lot of your listeners too, if they have out of the blue weird kidney issues, it may be an underlying lupus issue, because there's been people that have
Right.
suffered all their lives, like Kuralt, that argued. It wasn't until they
Yeah.
died,
Yep.
and
Yes.
people go undiagnosed with lupus
Yep.
affecting their kidneys just as easy as other
Yes.
issues. So it's
Yes,
a
they
route that
do.
they may want to look
Mm-hmm.
into if they're having a weird kidney issue that they can't
Mm-hmm.
explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And
Absolutely.
that's what happened to Emmett Henderson from San Diego. Emmett Henderson
Yeah.
the third, is that he speculates, obviously, because he got diagnosed with it later. I think he was in his mid-20s or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
he's speculating he probably had it when he was a kid.
More
Because
likely.
there were things,
Yeah.
there were things that he couldn't explain.
Yeah.
And now looking back, he can. Like,
Yeah.
there were some marks on his skin and stuff, and
Yeah.
and everybody gave him different reasons why that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
anyways, do you know what I'm talking about? Is that you could probably think of Lou? Did you have symptoms when you were a kid, and maybe you had this much longer than maybe what the doctors?
Looking back, yeah, I do. Little signs like the Keister chondritis in my chest. Other weird things I had as a kid. Yeah, it makes sense. It clicks. And just the
Okay.
way the immune system works with lupus,
Mm-hmm.
it never really being sick. It's just little things like that. And when I did get it, and I did have issues in my kidneys as a kid that were kind of, funky. And yeah, if I really look back hard enough, yeah, that weren't missed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here. I know I've had lupus since I would say maybe 15.
Yeah.
15
And,
years old.
Wow.
and it can easily come on neonatal, and it's a lot of times misdiagnosed in that area too. It's not talked about or brought up enough in the public eye. And that's, I think, a big issue.
It's a big issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and that's why that's why I'm so excited to do the show tonight, and that we're interviewing you, Lou, because
I appreciate
there's so many different things about lupus that if we bring more awareness, then hopefully people can see these early signs, so that they hopefully don't go through the long extended time of not being diagnosed with lupus, like many lupus warriors that I've interviewed have talked about. And so
exactly.
with the name of the show, I titled it, "Does Lupus Really Hit Men Harder?" And I did a little bit of research, guys, and because I was posing this question because I've heard it. I've heard it from Emmett, and I've heard it from Dion, and I've heard it from other people, and you and your wife, Lou, you kind
Yes.
of imply that as well. And what I found is I went to like three different reputable websites, and what there's not like a total concrete sort of evidence, but what all of them had in common is that they said they're speculating that it happens that men have it more severely is number one is that it goes undiagnosed, not diagnosed early on in the beginning because it's regarded as a women's disease. And then number two, that it may have something to do with women having more estrogen, and because of how men have the androgen, that it may have something to do with how we're different that way as genders. There's a increase and decrease. Obviously, each has estrogen and testosterone, but there are different levels, of course, right? And so they all did say with their tests and research that when men have it, oftentimes the disease hits them more severely. And one of the things men have more problems with is kidney failure. Now, with having said that, all right, nearly everyone that I've interviewed who has lupus generally gets kidney failure at one point. So it's even though it sounds like men have a higher propensity of getting kidney failure, I got to go from my own experience, and nearly everybody I've interviewed that has lupus has had some sort of kidney failure. Maybe not so severe that they've had to go on dialysis, but everyone that I've interviewed has had some problems with lupus. And so lupus, is, even though we think of diabetes and high blood pressure, which are the two leading of kidney failure, and I'm going to tell you, lupus has got to be up there somewhere. I don't know if it's number 3 or 4 or 5, but it's got to be up there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
It is, and I think it does come down a lot of it not being diagnosed early on, or guys don't think they can get it, or along those lines, and it's at the point to where all of a sudden when it does get diagnosed, it's
bad,
so far hard into the organs that it comes across as it hitting us harder as it normally would as a female gender, where it's thrown out there in a harder light as affecting females more often than it would a male.
Right.
And so I think it would bring more in that concept of why it's hitting men harder.
Yeah.
Another doctor I read today said, and again, this is just speculation on his part, but he said that one other reason why men may have it more severely is that they oftentimes will go an extended or longer period of time without going to the doctor. And I got to say, I'm probably guilty of that myself.
Oh, yeah.
So there's
exactly right.
Yes.
There may be a little truth there because I'm guilty of that. I probably, because it's, and I think regardless of the gender, I think women and men, each of us doesn't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to be looked at as weak or vulnerable, right? And so sometimes that can happen. Yeah, where we don't want to go see the doctor right away because, man, if I tell people I'm going to the doctor, they may think I'm weak or something.
And I came across the feed earlier about a person talking about that is they're afraid to even let their employer know because of fear of losing their job and losing their health insurance.
Yes.
People shouldn't,
that is another one.
And that's just not right. And that's just even scarier.
Oh, yeah.
And I've talked, and I know to this day, there's a guy I talk to every now and then on the phone, 40+ year farmer. To this day, his family doesn't know he has lupus.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Just because he's worried about what people are going to look at him and think about it.
Wow.
So he suffers quietly in the corner, and
Oh,
every now and
man.
then he'll talk or pop in. But yeah, to this day, most of his family doesn't even know. So
Wow.
and it goes on countless across like that across the country.
Yeah. And you need your family support. I mean, that's
Yeah,
when you need
It's
the
huge.
family, that's so important.
yeah.
And he shouldn't have to
Yeah,
go
I
through
know
that
a friend
alone.
that know about other men told just now he's had it for 23 years.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a guy up in Ontario. He had it for 23 years. He's never known a man with lupus.
Wow.
So he
Wow.
popped up my email. So
Wow.
it's mind boggling
You
in this
Yeah.
day and age,
you can be
especially.
an inspiration to people. You can be an
I
inspiration to
don't.
people, Lou.
Yeah, I just want to help people that are struggling. That's all. I
Certainly.
got too
Yeah.
much free time on my hand.
Well, you're doing something good with it. That's what
Yeah.
counts. You're doing something good because I don't. You're like my third personal person I've actually met. I know Nick Cannon has lupus and Seal, but I
Yeah.
don't know them personally. I haven't met
Right,
them.
right.
What's that?
So
No. Why?
you guys are like unicorns.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it all.
They
It's
are.
actually all my wife. I just take credit for it. So
Well, it sounds like you're a pretty good team. That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she was, like I said, she was when I was working in the semi, she was a godsend. So
Yeah.
she's pretty good at what
Uh-huh.
she does. So, and then she
So how
did.
long were you trucking?
I personally was trucking for 20 years
Oh
before I
man.
Uh-huh.
got sick. So, and then she was a restaurant manager, but in the semi, she used to operate trucking Santas, and she used to give Christmas to cerebral palsy facilities for Christmas, and then
Uh huh.
needy families from the front seat of the semi truck
Wow.
all year long. So yeah, she would all
Wow.
organize it and everything from her laptop and
Very
all that
good.
fun stuff. That was her Christmas, what she enjoyed doing. So when I got sick and
Uh-huh.
started Men Have Lupus to
Uh-huh.
find other men to, just to try to be able to fit in or whatever. And then
Yeah.
we got to the point of where we're finally going to launch it and do our little project.
Uh huh.
She said, well, heck, I'll join in. And that's where that left off. So it's where we
Very good.
are.
Very
Wow.
good. Very good.
Wow. That's impressive. It sounds like she's a good Samaritan, like from the from the Bible, the New Testament.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a rare one for sure. A little rough being a Cajun, but she's rare.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how it came to be that from your trucking days, getting finally diagnosed with lupus, and then starting this lupus revolution, so to speak, that your website kind of talks about with your mission. Talk
So
to us a little bit about that.
yeah. So when I first got sick and out of the blue fell flat on my face, and thankful, like I said, I'll even say we owned the house outright, and that's the only thing that kept us from being
Mm-hmm.
flat on the street homeless.
Yep.
We scrimped and saved for covering electric bills because just when you get diagnosed for lupus, you don't automatically qualify for, me being my situation. I didn't get food stamps. I didn't get,
Right.
all this. I didn't get the help. So
Yeah.
it was, we did a lot of scouring around the flea markets, scrimped and saved. And my wife's dealing with surgeries the whole time and learning to navigate the medical system.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had this idea in the back of my mind about tiny homes, and I always loved them. And even in the truck, I always had this ideal. So I knew there was a missing need out there for people and myself that needed resources just for everyday food and groceries. Because
Yeah.
it's really not out there when you really reach out for everyday living expenses. You can
Yeah.
find it for the medical and that kind of end. But when you need a grocery bill or electric bill covered, it's a nightmare trying to get it last minute. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand. I mean, I was wrote off by family and friends when I got sick. It got really ugly.
Oh
So yeah,
no,
I got to see the
that's
ugly side of
horrible.
getting diagnosed. Yeah, I was called a scam, a fraud. It goes on and
Wow.
on. So
Wow.
I got to see the real ugly side of the diagnosis of lupus.
Mm.
But so we decided to go and finally launch to where we want to invest in a piece of property to where we can put tiny homes on there that are
Mm-hmm.
solar powered, self sufficient with a
Solar
garden
powered.
on. Yeah, we are very into that end of it. a garden center on it to where we can grow the vegetables. With it's going to be within reach of John Hopkins and some of the other major medical
nice.
facilities. We've already
Yeah.
kind of mapped out some of the locations to where people that are waiting for disability that are down on their luck, because I know personally, a handful of people that are living out of their cars in abandoned gas stations that are former military that, too, like you said, no fault of their own, live paycheck to paycheck, and you get hit with an illness like this,
Yeah.
you're out on your street,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
this is the really driving force to give someone a place to where they can focus on their illness, get on their feet, and then say, hey, okay, I have a plan. I can find a place permanent to live. And,
Right.
eventually we can spread further out from where we start up. But
Right.
that's kind of the lay down of what our goal is and where we're launching about.
Mm-hmm. So with the project that you're doing with the tiny houses, is there a limited time they can stay? Or
No, it's open-ended until they feel comfortable enough to get on their own and go from there. It's not going to be you have X amount and
right.
forced out the window and door.
Okay, great,
Yeah,
great.
it's yeah. And then we plan on having a couple area spots if people want to get out there just to unwind and relax, because it's hard pressed too for some people to do that. Because
Yeah.
I'm a lover of the nature and outdoors area, so I know what it's like just to have that. If you have a space to go, you want to unwind for a week, if in a gazebo setting area and just
Right.
decompress. It could be a
Right.
big stress help for a lot of people.
Right. How many houses you trying to put on your land?
At the moment, we're at least 10 for sure. We have plans for. Is what
Awesome.
we're fundraising for and set up for is what we're looking
Okay.
at. All, so we have the privacy and everything else and functionality.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And like I
That's
said, my
awesome.
wife's in talks with a lot of the major hospitals, with John Hopkins and stuff in the past with our men have lupus. So
Yeah.
we can
Awesome.
work with them in between and getting them the work they need and treatment options they want to go out and other financial ends.
So how
if
can
anybody
people
wants to, I was just
Yeah,
going to ask
go
that
ahead.
same thing. I
Yeah.
think I know where you're going. I was going to ask the same thing.
Yep, go ahead.
So, if someone would like to donate, would they go to your website, menhavelupus.org, or where would they go to help and donate?
Best place would be menhavelupus.org. It has everything listed up there and where to go and direct, and has everything else listed. And if they need to contact or have any questions, they can feel free to.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put this in the comments section.
And it does have our link to our, we do have a male only support group in there. And it's kind of where I started my grassroots, because a lot of guys, there's personal issues they talk about. So at the moment, it's just a male only link in there. If guys out there feel like they need a closed group where they can express themselves, there is a link up there too also for them.
I'm going to share your link because we have one man in our community support
I appreciate
group.
it. Yeah.
And I was trying to get him to come on tonight, but
yeah,
so I'm going to share this with him.
I appreciate that. And the facility is open to men and women all about. It's just because I have men have lupus. I don't want to think it's just all men only.
I get it.
Yeah, so
I feel bad for him because every time he comes to the meeting, he's just the only guy. So
yeah, I know how I can feel. I know how I can feel.
This is great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass this on.
When I first got sick and I was on the group searching in it, and that's where this Men Have Lupus started from. So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna definitely share your info. This is great.
I appreciate it. I just like I said, I don't like seeing people not suffer. I don't for no fault of their own. Exactly. I'm just trying to be a safety net for stuff that's needs fixed.
Yep.
Well, it shows your character. You've got a huge heart, in regards to wanting to reach out and serve others. Some people, they get inspired. They talk about stuff that they want to do, and then there are people that get inspired and actually take action. And you've taken action, and so I want to applaud you for that, because again, many people are called but few are chosen, and it's the people that are or maybe I'm getting that. Am I saying that right? Many people are.
I have no clue.
Anyway,
many get called and few are chosen. Yes.
There we go. I said that. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so you're taking action, which not everybody does.
Yes.
Some people feel inspiration and then they say, "Hey, someday I'll do this," and they never do.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
you're actually doing something, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful. It really
Well,
It
thank
is.
is.
you.
I'd like to hope um, that blessings come your way. However that But I really believe people that do good things that are good things happen. Now, does that mean that no bad things will ever happen to a good person? No.
No.
Because we're all going to have problems in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call it a test, right? But
Exactly.
I firmly believe that if you do act on inspiration, that good
Mhm.
things will happen, blessings will come.
Yep. You reap what you sow.
Yeah,
You
karma.
reap. So there you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. I've always lived by karma in my life. At least I try to. So that's
Yes.
what I go
Mm-hmm.
by.
Love it. I love it. So, really, really, I'm digging your vision for this for the Have Lupus, and I like what you're doing. I love that you're involved with your wife, that you're doing it together as a team. Um, this is a wonderful thing that you're doing. I'm hoping that more people will go to Instagram and look for Men Have Lupus, and follow you on Instagram, and then they can go to your website that I've put up
Yes.
here,
Yes.
menhavelupus.org, so that we
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
can get you more support.
I appreciate it. And we're on Twitter also, but yeah. So we're on it
Okay,
all.
is it? I speculate it's probably Men Have Lupus and on
Yep.
Twitter as well.
Yep.
Okay,
It's all the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
we're eventually working on
So,
t-shirts, but so that's time out there.
all right, very nice.
Where
Okay,
yeah, what we use for our picture image is what we're gonna have on our shirts eventually. But with everything going at the
okay.
moment and trying to push this out, it's on the back burner. But yeah, we will have the t-shirts eventually. So
All right, all right. So
we keep
Amani is
it.
asking, which state is your facility? Is it in Michigan?
Um, Currently we live in Michigan. We are eyeballing Maine at the moment, just for the fact that
Okay, okay.
where it'll be close to John Hopkins and those kind of resources, where
Mhm.
we're gonna
Gotcha.
launch from for that reason
Okay.
at the moment. But we do plan on helping nationwide with other people with electrical bills and that kind of still,
Other
even if they're not
resources.
on. Yeah, exactly, as much as we can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we will be launching from the East Coast area just for the reason of those hospitals being in there and being able to work with them
Uh-huh.
in a closer nice area for the people that are on facility.
No, that
If
makes
that
total
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. To be in a closer vicinity,
yeah,
is going to work out and be more
because
favorable. That
yeah,
totally
because
makes
I
sense.
mean, we lived for a little bit over in Montana. In a state like that, you have one rheumatologist. There's a
Mm.
year-long wait. So
Wow.
I would love to be in certain areas of the country, but in order to do that, and then you have to worry about what kind of, you have for
Health.
medical facilities
Yeah.
to be able to bring, people in. So
Yeah.
I just, as much as I'd love to be everywhere in a snap of the fingers, I have to start somewhere,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I do. But that's the power of the internet, though, is that
Yes,
you can reach out to
Mhm.
people, from the East Coast to West
exactly.
Coast to
Yeah.
Arizona
Yep.
to Canada.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
So ho-
Yeah.
so I've got a question, and you can please give your feedback as well. Is that when there's a flare up that happens, and I know that when Emmett Henderson when I've interviewed him, he's talked about his bouts with the flare up. There are many times where he has to actually go to the ER, to the hospital, when the flare
Mm.
up. Can you describe how that feels to you, so that we can help others get a little bit? Obviously they're not going to totally understand, because
Hmm.
it's if you don't have it, necessarily totally understand. But if you
Yeah.
can explain how you feel, we can help understand a little bit more.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
You can go.
Oh, Yeah. I mean, I guess I just feel like it depends on the days and stuff, but there's days I get hit like a Mack truck. I mean, I have suffered from necrosis in my hip. I mean, it'll just scream like no other. The weird aches and pains. My headaches, I get what they call suicide headaches, and
Mm,
and those will drive me to the hospital.
wow.
Even with prescribed medication I get, I'm stuck in the hospital. So those,
Wow.
yeah, and trying to explain to people that don't really understand the disease, like they're like, "Well, you looked fine yesterday. You were out doing such." I'm like, "Yeah, but
Oh.
I
Oh
know
my
that me
gosh.
doing this is going to lay me out for the next
The next
3
day.
weeks."
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. Why don't you come by the next day after I've been out all day washing my pickup,
Right.
and see
Right.
what I'm doing? I'm laying in
Right.
my bed, lucky to get to the bathroom all day. So,
Right.
what's that?
Nosebleed, blood clots.
Huh?
Nosebleed, a blood clot.
Oh yeah, and then like there was a time when I blacked out and I woke up with bleeding and I got nothing but blood clots coming out. So
Mm,
it's just, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's just yeah, they're not fun. You're just uncomfortable. You're miserable, irritable, and trying to explain that to others sometimes. And having a spouse that can understand it can make a big difference, I think, in
oh,
life.
the
It
world.
Because and I've seen a lot of relationships go south because of the spouse not being able to take the time and step back and realize
Yep.
it's not me. It's just the person is just miserable from medication, miserable from the
Right.
flare,
Right.
and give them that 5 minutes they need
right.
in space. And I wish a lot of people need to realize that kind of stuff. And sometimes they might go, okay, and then approach the person and carry on life.
Right.
I was going to my job because you were going to die if I
Yeah,
took care of you.
yeah. So my wife having to be removed from her job to be able to take care of me because my seizure issues. So
Mm,
and I think a lot of it helped with us being the semi truck. We're used to close contact, but
right.
when someone's all of a sudden forced to 24/7 take care of a spouse they're not used to, you
Yeah.
really get a lot of bumping heads. And then when you're
Yep.
flaring and you're miserable and hurting and there's nothing you can do, but yet you're trying and the other person cares, but it creates just unneeded headaches and it's sad.
Wow.
It is.
Wow.
It is. Yeah. For me, it's like Lou said. It just depends on the day. In the lupus community, we talk about spoons, like how many
Right.
spoons
Right.
you
I'd
have.
forgotten about that. Yeah.
Yep.
I try to save up my spoons. Like I had a 50th birthday celebration. So I said, okay, I can't do too much because I know I'm going to this party. I'm going to be dancing. I'm going to be doing this, that, and the third. So, and then the next day I'm laid out, maybe the next 2 days I'm laid out. It just depends. For me, a flare could be, I can just wake up and everything hurts, and I just got to stay in the bed. Or I just deal with extreme fatigue, or sometimes my scalp is tingling. Now it's breaking out and bumps start coming. I mean, it
Okay.
does. You really don't know, or I
Mm-mm.
don't know how it's going to hit me. Is it going to be my scalp? Is it going to be, something systemic? Am I going to cry all day under the covers? I don't know. It just depends on the day and how many spoons I've spent. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah,
playing
I forgot
whack-a-mole.
about that term. Whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
that's
It,
good.
that's
Analogy.
yeah,
Whack a
that is
Huh?
mole.
that's
What's that?
Bring up two gloves.
Yeah. Yeah.
or
And
ski-mo.
yeah, exactly. And another thing I guess it's not really brought up too, and I'll bring it up. I'm not proud of it, and it bothers me to nothing. Is tooth loss from it? A lot of
Oh,
people with
Okay.
either medication and lupus itself, and then lack of not being able to get to dentist
yeah.
is just eat your teeth alive. I mean, my top teeth are just gone from it, just
Mm-hmm.
through that the medications itself, and not
Yeah.
having access to that end of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I was in the dentist this week because my teeth were throbbing last week. Like I
Mm-hmm.
had a toothache and I went to the
Yeah.
dentist. She ran X-ray. She was like, "You don't have an abscess. You don't have
Yeah.
cavity.
Yeah.
Oh
You don't."
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yep. And Dennis, I mean, I know a couple that his grandma was going to cover his dental care, and due to his lupus and his medications, they rotted his teeth. And the dentist called his grandma and said, "Oh, you're a crack addict. That's why his teeth are rotted." And then
Oh
Yep.
my
Stop
gosh.
paying for
Oh
his
my
dental care afterwards.
gosh.
And to
And
this day
just
will not
blamed it
talk to him.
on just blamed it on that.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, because he
gosh.
didn't want to listen to him, believed that lupus and the medication could cause teeth rot.
That's terrible.
Wow.
He-
That
yeah.
is
So
terrible.
you go in the ER and you're judged on teeth because of the opioid out epidemic, and then you have to
Mhm.
fight for painkillers, and so they look at you like you're pain seeking when you're not. All you want is just relief.
Yeah.
So when you're fighting flare on top of it, who wants to even deal with the ER on top of that? Because half the time you go in there, the doctors are just going to give you a runaround, and it's just it can be a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So you just lay in your bed and like, just leave me alone.
Take
I
it.
don't want to deal with you.
Mhm.
Until it gets so bad that you do end up hospitalized.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you're right.
one of the things that I think I'm imagining, okay, that could be difficult is and I say this because of I struggle with anxiety myself, and because of some things in my past, my parents that have died, a messy divorce, and I'm estranged with my youngest daughter, and so I struggle with anxiety myself, and so one of the
Right.
things that I can only imagine, again, I don't have lupus, and so but I can only imagine that if other people are thinking that you're making it up or that you really aren't sick, that this emotional trouble, I can only imagine, could be very difficult for a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can turn your world upside down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it like I said, there's a lot of my family I don't even speak to this day because of it, and a lot of
Sad.
Oh, that
friends
is
to
a
this day.
shame. That is a
Yeah,
shame.
it's sad over rumors what's that? Oh,
screaming.
and then it got out of hand real quick, and then the anxiety issues.
Mm.
When I first got sick, with the levels of medication, I always wear a mask,
Right.
and this is way before
Good,
COVID.
good.
So
Right.
wearing a mask, yeah, because of my lowered immune system,
Yeah,
Right.
being
wearing a mask,
immunocompromised.
yeah. So obviously, wearing a mask back in 2014 was like unheard of.
Right.
So I was the oddball walking around town.
Mm-hmm.
So when people see me wearing a mask, I'd always get the fingers pointing or the questions, and then you'd try to explain it, and you either get a good reaction or you get a complete loony, or you look normal, you look fine, but there's the last electric scooter in the store. I need it, and there's an old guy staring at you like, why are you stealing that scooter? You're 20 years
Right.
old. You can
Right.
walk just fine. I'm 80. I need that,
Mm.
Yeah. Or, I had to take a medication for an infection, and I'm being called a drug addict because of all the rumors. So
What?
and then that anxiety right there, like you said, it
Yeah.
closes you off to become a hermit. And with
Yep.
Right.
I became a germphobe, and I just closed myself inside my house and shut the world off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
Very
Sure.
easy. That's why when the
Yes.
pandemic hit, I didn't have a problem locking
I
up in
didn't
that.
either. I was like, yeah, life carries on normal for me.
Yeah, that was
This
like
is another day.
that
Yeah.
was a day for me.
Oh, yeah. Now I fit in normal. Everyone's wearing
Yeah.
masks finally. We're okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
you guys
no
battle
problem.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, now they know how we'll feel wearing a mask everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't have I didn't have much sympathy when they cried about wearing a mask. So as
Yeah.
mean as it
Right,
sounds,
right,
it's
right,
like
right.
this is not a hard concept, and
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
preach even with the vaccinations in our community.
Mm-hmm.
It is very important to wear masks.
Yes.
Because we lost one of our admins in my support group that was very close. He was a very vital part. He was in there for 3 years,
Mm.
and he lived up in Canada. And he
Okay.
decided to go help a former ex-wife to help her move, and didn't wear his mask. He was fully vaccinated. Yeah, he ended up comatose, and finally had to pull the plug to where he
Oh,
passed away of COVID.
wow.
So I really stress on the mask even while vaccinated with the immune compromised.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I mean, I know it protects well. I'm not going to say nothing bad about it, but still throw that mask in there with the
No,
medication we're on and
Yeah.
everything, just to
Yeah.
be safe.
Absolutely. I recently found out that even though I got the 2 vaccines, I didn't have a trace of it in me.
Yeah, because there were studies came out very early on showing that there was
Right.
lowered immunity
Yeah.
because
and
of
it wasn't.
yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately, it didn't get pushed out there like it should have.
Right. Right. So I took a booster and I'm going to get another antibody test and see if that,
Yeah,
took.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
hope so. I hope so, Tamika.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then so every time you guys get boosters, you have to go off your medications, don't you, and then go back on them, or they
no,
do it? No,
I didn't have to.
just the vaccines. They had to do that.
No, I didn't have to do it for the vaccines either.
Really? Because I know there's a protocol out there for everyone to pull off their medications and then go back on them between the vaccine. Yeah,
Nope.
um,
Nobody told
depending
me to
on
do
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look really hard, there's rheumatology and NIH. My wife can shoot you the links on protocols, or I have them somewhere. I could show them, but it could change too. But there's links out there showing that certain medications to come off before and after the shot due to the immune suppression of the medication and the shot causing interactions.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what
Interesting.
you're talking about because I did inquire, but my rheumatologist told me because I was on such a low dose of prednisone not to stop it.
Yeah, yeah, just prednisone, you're fine. Yeah, like something like
Yeah.
the Benlyst does and the
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cellceps. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to come
Yeah.
off of it to get vaccinated and then come back and then go back on it once after the vaccination.
Yeah, I'm not on those drugs. I'm on prednisone and Imuran. So
Okay, yeah, so yeah.
You know,
So
I
I figured it
remember you
varied.
saying that, Tamika, but
mhm.
I remember you've said that previously, but I don't know if it's just because when I think of people on prednisone, I give them faith. I don't see that on you. So it must be a lower dosage, or it just
Yeah, you're
doesn't affect
lucky.
you that way.
It's a very low dose because if you have known me about 5 years ago, yes, I was the poster child for
Yeah.
prednisone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
all right, all right,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's a very low dose that I'm on. Yeah.
all right.
I was 200 pounds on prednisone.
Me
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
walked up Yeah, I walked up to an ex-coworker and he didn't even recognize me. I had to have my wife
Yep.
explain everything to me. He just looked like a stranger trying to scare him.
Yep.
Pillsbury Doughboy in a mask going at his window, and he's like, who's this?
Little me.
No, that's
I'm
me. I'm just on
4'11".
prednisone.
Yeah, I'm 4'11", and I
Right.
was 190 pounds. So yeah,
All
you
right,
just
all right,
roll me
yeah.
down the street.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
exactly.
I've come a long way.
Uh-huh.
A long way. Yeah.
Yeah, the moon face. That's what your wife's saying,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
I
yeah,
got
Uh-huh.
pictures. I got pictures to prove it.
yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
Somewhere hidden.
Well, hey, listen, we're coming to the end here, but I'm so glad we did this, Lou. Again,
Me too.
it's so important information out there, to raise more awareness, get people more prepared, get them to know more about it, so that
Exactly.
again, and I can't say that having the show today we're going to change everybody's lives, but the small ripples, all it takes sometimes is a small ripple, and it causes another ripple and then another, and so I really think that we can make a difference, and maybe that's just the optimist in me, but I really feel that that we can make a difference, and I'm glad that we did this tonight so that we can make a difference.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been great, actually.
Yeah.
So
This
we
was
do what we can
very
do, right? One day at a time.
one day at a time,
Absolutely.
sometimes 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep, exactly.
Which
All you can do.
which again is why I like the spoon analogy. I've heard
Yeah.
others call themselves
Yep.
spoonies.
Spoonies,
Yep.
yep.
Is that
Yep.
yeah. Right, right. So I love that term. Baby steps is what your wife is saying too. Yeah, it's just small
Exactly.
steps.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
but you know
Very-
but that's how God works. He doesn't always work with one big event. Now, sometimes there is a big event, but in many cases, it's the small works that become wonders, and not just the big things. And so we can make these little baby steps add up. You know what I mean? We can tally up, we can count a lot of these things and make a big difference. And I'm excited to do that and to keep doing that so that we can help as many people as possible that are immunocompromised and that need to get the more information And this is so paramount. I'm glad we did this tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, with no further ado, it is now. You ready for this? I just made this recently, so I don't know if you saw this. Did I use this last time? I don't think so. Here we go. It is. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on.
Oh, I see it. Very nice.
Shout out time.
Yeah,
Shout out
that's
time.
nice.
All right.
Very nice.
So, all right. So now it's time to shout people out. All right. Is it even showing? There we go. So I'm going to put the, I'm going to
Showing.
make that a little bit. Yeah, I'm covering up Lou though. There we go. All right. So
I'm
I'm a little
good.
bit in your face. I'm a little bit in your face right there. I apologize.
Shouting in his face.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But it's shout out time. So I'm gonna let Tamika shout out her homegirls, her family, and anybody that she wants, and then we'll give you the time to shout out too, Lou.
I just want to say thank you to all my friends and family that are listening, and my sorority sisters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Every time I come on, they're on, supporting, commenting, listening. So thank you to my illustrious sorors. I love you.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Lou. Now it's your turn. I'm gonna move you over here so that we can see your face.
Yeah.
All right. Here
there
we go.
you go.
All right. So, whom would you like to shout out? Pay tribute to, say thanks to?
I would really like to say thanks to my wife, Heather Pontriff. She's the whole really behind the scenes workhorse behind all of this, honestly, and she deserves a lot of credit that she doesn't get. There's a lot of work that she does behind the scenes that doesn't get seen, that lining people up with other doctors and all the stuff that doesn't get mentioned or seen in websites and stuff. And everyone else out there struggling, I just want to let you know that I'm trying to fight for you, and this is all about you and not me. And hopefully we can get this done as quick as we can.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
Again, Tamika, thank you for coming on. Really
pleasure.
appreciate your feedback. Yeah. And so I hope everybody has a blessed evening. Thank you, you guys. Thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
Tamika. Have a great and blessed evening. All right.
All
Very good, Patrick.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. So we've heard from Lou, and we've heard a little bit about his story. It's an amazing story. All right. So, I mean, seriously, let's talk about this just for a moment. I'm putting this up. I'm going to change the chat here so I can show more of the screen here. So bear with me just a moment while I do that. So what we have is we've got a guy, all right, who struggled, then finally got diagnosed with lupus after many, many times of going to the doctors. All right. And then after having been diagnosed with it, all right, has had a daily struggle since then, sometimes with the flare ups, but ultimately every day he's battling with something that's happening within his body because of the lupus. With that being said, okay, he's doing something. And this is why I get inspired by this, by him, and I'm inspired by his wife, and I'm fully inspired by anybody who has any sort of chronic illness, because they're acting on inspiration. Okay, everybody gets inspired. Sometimes you recognize it, sometimes you don't, but everybody gets inspired. It's the people that act on inspiration, and he's acting on it. He's doing something. It's his own mission. The men have lupus, and they're starting. He and his wife have started this and putting together, all right, a bunch of tiny houses for people that are less fortunate. Tell me that is not a good Samaritan. Tell me that's not a good person. That's the kind of guy I want to have in my life. Somebody who I know has a big heart, and he has so much love, so much empathy for people. And I'm so much in gratitude right now for somebody like that that's trying to make a difference. I'm also very inspired and very grateful for Tamika, the such a gracious co-host, but the Green Warrior Princess is still in need of a living kidney donor. So please, all right, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to her directly if you'd like to become a living kidney donor for Tamika Griffin. All right, the Green Warrior Princess is strong, all right, and she will get up after she's knocked out or knocked down. She is a warrior, but she also would have a better quality of life if she gets a kidney. So please, all right, do what Lou is doing and act on inspiration. All right, apply to be a living kidney donor for Tamika Griffin and make a difference. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to read through these comments before I say peace. All right, so we've got, all right, Teresa Lopez. All right, that's probably somebody who's watching from her group. Thank you for watching, Teresa Lopez. All right, and we've got. I want to say thank you again to Amani James, to Lisa Baxter, Steve Belcher, Philip from A Second Chance. If you haven't already, go to the Second Chance on YouTube and subscribe to A Second Chance YouTube channel. Philip Jones Jr., and then we've got Tufaro. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his last name, but Tufaro, who are doing the Second Chance. Appreciate those guys. Appreciate you, Philip. Tufaro Cook. There we go. And I know maybe it's because I'm 50 because I don't have lupus or kidney disease, but I had brain fog right there. So thank you. I want to say thank you to Heather. I want to say thank you to her. She's a great care partner to Lou, and the fact that she's also acting on inspiration, and she's the one that mostly deals with Men Have Lupus. Like if you see the Instagram or other things that, if you try to message them on the Instagram or Twitter, she's normally the one that actually will respond. Now, if I'm not mistaken, she actually was a social media manager before all this kind of happened. And so she's also very good at helping you if you want to get more followers on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So hit her up if you'd like to get more information on how you can grow your social media. All right. So I've got Don Juan here. Thank you for subscribing. I'll follow you as well. I'll definitely subscribe and follow to your channel and what you do. Thanks for subscribing to me. Hey guys, I'm going to say peace because I have got to go. But before I do that, I want to say peace be unto all of you. All right. In this month, let's remember to be the best version of ourselves and give and not just think of receive. All right. Peace. I appreciate you all because without you following me and without you helping me, I can't help others. And I've got so much passion to help people. All right. I wish I could help every single person that's chronically ill with whatever is happening that's making them chronically ill. I wish I could help every single person. But with this platform, I can help thousands of people. And I can't do that without your help. So I want to say and applaud you all for tuning in and sharing and commenting and liking and helping me do this because it works. It works. I know it works because I've seen that this works. We can get this information out to so many different people. All right. We can reach thousands of people with this platform. I'm excited to continue to do that. All right. So thank you for following me and helping me help others. So again, peace. I'm out. God bless you and your families during this Christmas season. I'm going to do the outro and I'll be back next Wednesday. If you need anything, send me an email. hit me up on Instagram or my Facebook page, The Warriors Quest Show. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Where's that outro? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.